Out of all the things I could have added for a possible intro for this video, I think the best kind of things I can do is reinforce the fact that none of these people, or at least 3 of these people, slash maybe their friends, happen to be not anti-Semitic. You know, I'll make fun of them. I have Sneeko in the thumbnail, I have Moist Critical in the thumbnail. I don't like using modern terminologies to describe things, and I avoid using those terminologies in the video and replace it with like just saying Trump hate, to just cave and say, yo, it's TDS, it's Trump derangement syndrome, it's everything bad in the world that's ever happened ever happens to be Trump related or Israel related.
Boys, you don't understand. People need to think we're all powerful, that we control the world. If they knew we weren't in charge of 9/11, then we appear to control nothing.
Why don't you just tell people the truth?
We do that too, and most people believe the truth. But 1/4 of the population is retarded. If they want to believe that we control everything with intricate plans, why not let them?
YouTubers saying their politics, I don't really care. But the more I hear it, the more I'm like, okay, I'd rather listen to somebody being a dumbass than, want them to say exactly what I'm saying. I would rather laugh at, especially when they think that that's the most agreed upon opinion. It's when you think you're the majority and everybody else is wrong. That's kind of the best kind of internet politics. Syriac says, I'm not left, I'm not right, you can't label me.
And not to get super political, and again, where I align when it comes to politics, you'll never know because I can't really be defined in whatever group. For example, like Twitter thinks I'm like super left and only feeds me super left content. But then when I go on Instagram, it thinks I'm like far right. And I'm like, bro, neither of you are right. Stop trying to like identify who I am. I just think clearly. Damn.
I would say you don't even have to stop hating Trump for that concept, because you can literally sit there, headcanon slash, and this isn't even like hardcore headcanon, because you could say Epstein files, maybe he's done so much evil that he wants to make other people happy that aren't, because Americans aren't going to be happy, obviously. So he's making other people happy and making big swings before he dies to counter his level of evils. You can even take it that direction. And you could still call the war good and Trump bad without having to say the war bad because people died.
I just don't get what liberals don't get about liberation. I see so much happiness. I see it in Venezuela. I see it here in Iran. Could we skip the part where we talk about, oh, they had so many different reasons for going to war, regime change, and we got to get rid of the nukes, and they were supporters of terrorism. It's all of it. How about this? This was a fascist theocracy, and nothing in the Middle East was ever going to get better while they were still there f***ing everything up. But I don't think that, okay, but I don't think...
That's the kind of YouTube response I expect from somebody that's being neutral. I expect Moist Critical to say something like that. I don't expect him to say that killing the Ayatollah is the worst thing that ever happened. I can't believe we're doing that. I expect him to say that, okay, he's doing a good thing, but he's still evil. Right? I don't expect him to change his mind. In this video, he whips out the old everybody else is brainwashed if they can't see Iran being bombed and having the terrorists killed is a bad thing. And the only people that have this opinion are the people whose politics revolve around hating Trump. Well, also, Dotto just plain outed you and said, all my friends are leftists. I forgot about that.
Rhyme's more left than me, but Rhyme's a good guy. And also, I can't think of anybody on the right. Honestly, I don't have a lot of online friends that are very right-wing. I am in a bit of a left space.
And this war shouldn't have happened. Why did you do that? It eventually had to happen. I mean, right? That's kind of the thought process of the government saying, well, eventually we were going to have to do this anyway. And that's true. It's not like a hardcore lie.
Even if we were 50,
they would end up having to do that shit anyway. Some don't like when I speak about real stuff happening, or speak on real stuff happening. I don't care. This war is disgusting. Our involvement is disgusting and shouldn't have happened to begin with. Also, don't forget about the files. Let's not even pretend like we're half and halving. There's a fine line between Democrats, liberals, and then there's straight up Trump haters that are so retarded that everything happens to be Trump related. Republicans, conservatives, Nazis, Democrats, which are the normal people from 2010 that only wanted gay rights, and the normal stuff, you know, and then you got the liberals, and then you got the straight up Nazis, the Jew haters. I think that's like a well documented and well understood concept of both extremes.
White people need to stop wearing dreadlocks, and they need to stop appropriating black people's music.
Shaved heads and country music, the way God intended.
Black people should only shop at black businesses. I guess the only thing we really disagree about is I think white people are the root of all evil.
But what did I tell you, though? If we can narrow that down to a certain group of tiny-hatted white people, I think we can come to an understanding.
Technically, I don't consider Jewish people white.
Neither do I.
I hate when people whip out, but what about the files, though? Like, nobody's actually paying attention to the files.
It's weird to say, don't forget about the files when no one,
it's just a way to obfuscate the amount of good that is being done by helping the Iranian people or the Venezuelan people.
Hamas is a terrorist mafia that took over Gaza. The Revolutionary Guard is a terrorist mafia that took over Iran. ISIS is a terrorist mafia that took over Iraq. The Taliban is a terrorist mafia that took over Afghanistan. These are the oppressors. And when you make it all about Israel, you take the pressure off of them. You enable them. The Iranian regime has killed 600 protesters after a 22-year-old woman died in police custody following her arrest for the crime of wearing her head covering incorrectly. Iran is who sponsors Hamas and Hezbollah. Are you sure this is who you want to throw down with?
You know, the people that are happy. Don't look over there. Don't look at all the happiness. It's even funnier to think about not giving at least a little bit of grace when it comes to war like this, where you could at least wait a month or two before complaining about a forever war. The people that he's actively affecting with his step-ins from other countries are just down with the sickness. They're fucking cool because they don't care about the files nearly as much as they care about their own well-being. It's not world peace, and it's never going to be world peace. But if everybody's happy now, they can at least try to get better from where they are now.
When Saddam fell, there were celebrations. 20 years later, not so many celebrations.
20 years later, Iraq is actually in a pretty good place.
Well,
people don't talk about that. Iraq is a much better country than it was. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But that kind of goes unnoticed, that Iraq is not a failed state anymore. They actually have elections. They have opposition parties. They have a media.
Don't you think they got better after we left? Because when we were there, it certainly was not.
Right, but it would still be torture rooms in Saddam Hussein, and his kids would be in charge, right?
It doesn't matter if the joke lands. I'm talking about the meme template. They go, Trump is bombing Iran, and everybody, you know he's in the files, right? The Iranian people are just still sitting there celebrating. It doesn't matter. This is you guys. That's a American problem, not an Iranian problem.
Every single Iranian person I know is celebrating right now. So don't listen to Western commentators. People like Mamdani and Andrew Tate and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Jane Cougar and the rest of the imbeciles that say, oh, nobody wants this war. Every single Persian person I know wants this war. And me as a Persian, I'm happy from the bottom of my heart.
They're literally pinpoint bombing just the Ayatollah, terrorist people.
CNN reporter was literally like, it's chill over here, fellas. They have grocery stores. There's not even any bombing happening over here.
Yeah, it's actually chill down here in wherever the hell it was.
It's like, why do they even do that? But don't forget he's in the files, because this is something that Moist Critical does too. I can whip out my Moist Critical tangent real quick. Moist Critical, I can watch a video of his when it comes to Trump, and then he whips out the Epstein files, and I'm like, okay. And then there's just one video where he's literally whipped out a take about COVID in 2025, where he's like, why didn't Trump literally not take the COVID vaccine? All his voters are anti-vax. I mean, what are you doing, Trump?
I remember growing up thinking that brainwashing and mind control was just something you see in comic books and cartoons. But now I know it's a very real thing that you can see happening daily in this country. Yeah, actually, Maxwell's probably innocent too. But again, I've already talked about that a lot. Let's talk about some other stuff. The COVID vaccine. Trump just got a COVID booster.
Mean lady mad most of the time?
Yeah, she is.
And this friend was just trying to enjoy a tasty snack. When the mean lady's all, did you eat the last pizza pocket? And he's all like, no, I'm eating the last 4 pizza pockets. And the mean lady calls him a selfish, lazy knucklehead. Can you believe that?
Not a conspiracy. Just out in the open, signed, documented, stamped. It is legitimate. Trump just got a COVID booster. And this administration has constantly played into the MAGA fear of the jab. That was one of the big things with MAGA, is like how this is, contaminating us, poisoning us. They're trying to kill us with the jab. And now Trump just got the vaccine booster, and those same people like Gunther Dickelman are now applauding him for it, sucking a fucking fart out of his butt for it, giving him a full rim job like, yes, the president's healthy, this is great news. Meanwhile, only a few months ago, a big talking point from him and so many others is the COVID vaccine and the evil of it. But now that Trump got the vaccine booster, well, now they love it. Well, now it's great. Actually, Trump probably got the vaccine booster because he's going to immediately give all of us herd immunity. He is using himself as a selfless sacrifice with the jab, so that way of being immune to
He looks agitated. He's losing it. Stevens, your gun. No, wait. I'm okay. He's all right.
Like the good little NPC drone that's like, anything Trump does is great. Can't wait to swallow more Trump meat. Even though it goes completely against all of the things he was talking about. Like, so many people that were talking about the jab and how evil it is and all of that are now celebrating that Trump got it. It's just so obvious. It's so blatant. Like fucking cat turd. I don't think I've seen anything from him on Trump getting the jab here. Just radio silence, just crickets. It's just ignore things that make you have to think. That is the cult mentality of MAGA.
Dude, he's 80. We know that COVID attacks the old people and people with weak immune systems. That's specifically what COVID's designed to kill. So saying that in 2025 just sounds like that should have stayed in the drafts. That's just Trump hate. That's not real. The Epstein files are real.
Actually, they got rid of 50K pages.
I don't doubt it. What was I? About the files, yeah. The files thing don't make any sense. Everybody knows. They're not going to stop hounding them on it. This is a positive thing, and it's the only thing you can think about, which is a problem. And it's a you problem. People who try to argue any of this at this point are brainwashed. Don't waste my time.
Hold on. The devil is gone.
Raise my flag, that's lightning son.
More than 200,000 Iranians live in California. Many fled the regime that ruled there for 47 years, and they welcome change.
United States and Israel, they are there to change the regime.
Events reached a tipping point after the Iranian crackdown on protesters last month that killed thousands. Iranians here demanded the U.S. government take military action.
We want to say thank you to President Trump. This is the only person who supported us in the last 50 years. Every single people in Iran knew that the only way that this regime is going to go away is that to attack them.
For the first time in their lives, many here are expressing optimism for a new life in Iran. Now you're expecting regime change.
Yes.
And hopeful about it.
Hopeful.
You've got a smile on your face.
Yes, I do.
Even though your friends and family may be in danger.
Yes, to have no choice.
Mohammed Ghaffarian left Iran more than 50 years ago, but for his loved ones still there, the violence and uncertainty is overwhelming.
Emotional tears.
Are they tears of joy?
Tears of joy and tears of sadness for the family.
Yeah, because you just don't know.
I don't.
So what part of the Iranian people getting, not even the people, the Iranian regime getting bombed, and obviously, you could say the school, a lot of people can obfuscate that to the Iranian military because the Iranian military is that retarded.
Maybe it's time we put our differences aside and forgive them. And what about the families of the victims of 9/11? Their feelings matter for another 10 months, damn it!
AI videos of them saying they're winning, there's a lot of obvious bullshit that they spewing. And it's not specifically to take away the fact that could have been a thing. Is, them accidentally bombing a school could have been a thing, obviously. But to say that it also couldn't have been a lie to the Iranians is just Trump hate. If you pay attention to the Iranians, and I think I have to say, when I say Iranians, I mean the Islamist regime of Iranians, because I used to think, fuck all Iranian people. They go ahead and they say, death to America on live television. And then I realized, dude, they're a lot like the Fire Nation in that one episode of Aang where he literally went to school and then realized, yo, these kids are literally just normal people, you know, the Dirty Dancing episode. They're being fed all this bullshit.
Those kids at school are the future of the Fire Nation. If we want to change this place for the better, we need to show them a little taste of freedom.
What could you possibly do for a country of depraved little fire monsters?
Listen, guys, dancing isn't something you think about. It's a form of self-expression that no one can ever take away from you.
It must sound so surreal to the rest of the world that something as simple and as contemporary and as common as teenage girls dancing to a Selena Gomez song becoming a scene of absolute violence against children and recantation, self-defiance, basically reducing people to some puppets who just deny themselves.
Did you hear about the Kurds thing?
Yeah, that's even funnier. Watching the other Muslim countries also say, yo, bro, we don't like you either.
Yeah, the Muslim countries around Iran are like, yeah, we got... You got our approval to butt fuck the Iran regime. You're totally cool.
And then they apologize and still bomb people, and it's somehow like Trump's fault because they decided let's keep going. Let's see how a guy responds, and I just don't like this response. Didn't say that, champ. It's deeper than that, champ. That's just coming off like condescending as fuck. You are not here to hear any other people's opinion.
If you're gonna try to get into a discussion, why wouldn't you have, like, in your back pocket the reason for why you think...
No, he wasn't. You lose.
Of course he was. He was the star.
Nope, you're wrong. Look it up.
I don't have to look it up. It's common knowledge.
Nope.
He was on the cover of People magazine when the movie. Everyone knows Kevin Bacon was a star of Footloose. It was a huge movie. He was the lead.
If you're gonna say it's deeper than that, champ, then let me hear.
Yeah, what's the deep part? What's the deep? Because the only thing that's gonna happen is the anti-Trump. It's gonna be anti-Trump, and the deeper part is it's for Israel.
No, I'd say the deeper part is
no. Listen, I'm saying that's what Dion thinks. It's for Israel.
Which leads us all to the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. Kyle. Who had the most to gain from 9/11? Kyle. Who was nowhere to be found the morning the towers fell? Kyle. But probably the most damning of all is the evidence seen in this photo of Tower 2. When I zoomed in, I saw what first appeared to be a blur. But when I computer enhanced it, you almost got away with it, you sneaky butthole.
That's the deeper part. Even though it's mutually beneficial for most people across the world that Iran sucks ass.
I refuse to believe that it's Jew-related for a guy.
It's Jew-related, dude. That's why he didn't elaborate.
I refuse to believe it's Jew-related. I think he's talking... I want to believe he's talking about the oil stuff.
Not to dive into the conspiracy loophole, because I know a lot of people, once you start thinking a little bit outside the box, it immediately gets deemed a conspiracy, but I call it actually using my brain and thinking.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know. Anti-regime is the most human you could be.
I know, it's very feminist to be regime. Anti-regime equals actual humanitarian efforts, yes. So you think Khomeini should have stayed in power. Are you aware that what he was doing the last 50 years will only care now because the U.S. is involved? Don't be performative. If you talk about why not talk about the whole thing? That's a pretty decent take, you know. You look at the big picture of taking out the Iranian regime, which is not marrying children at 9, not fondling children at 9.
Honor killings, where women are murdered by their own fathers and or brothers, happen so frequently they can't even have an accurate account of how many. In 59 countries, there are no laws against sexual harassment in the workplace, and many have no laws against domestic violence or spousal rape.
Not raping the virgin so that she goes to hell when she dies and she's executed. Not shit like that. You have to take shit as a whole when it comes to conflicts like that. And that's another thing when it comes to the this no new wars thing with Trump. Is technically you can use semantics and say it's not a new war. These guys have always sucked. Fuck them.
And I wouldn't even call it a war. I would call it a rescue operation or a peace operation, because we've been in a war for the last 47 years. This is the ending of a war, not a beginning of a new war. So don't get it confused.
It's even weirder because I guarantee you the three idiots are the kind of people that'd be like, yeah, we need to do this shit like Devil Artemis. Well, we have to do this shit in America. We need regime change in America. We've got to kill all those guys. But not the Ayatollah, not those guys that literally fuck kids, but the people that legally fuck kids with their own rules. We have to realize the kind of double standard that Epstein Files actually sets up for us in America versus the other.
You'd have to go back. I have no idea what you were saying.
You don't get the idea that people like the three idiots want regime change, Trump out of office and possibly killed, Devil Artemis going, we have the tools, fellas, we could just overthrow the government. So we want regime change in America, but we don't want regime change in a different country that supports terrorism across the world. You could even say America does, because that was what U.S. aid was for. But we got rid of that, now we're doing it directly. That's the problem. You decide to talk about what the U.S. is doing in Iran without even mentioning what's going on there. Didn't have the time to write an entire article about the entire history of the situation. Okay, so obfuscating the amount of research, that's about an hour.
I did criticize the president because of our undercutting of what was a stalwart ally, the Shah of Iran. The Shah had done our bidding and carried our load in the Middle East for quite some time. And I did think that it was a blot on our record that we let him down. Have things gotten better? The Shah, whatever he might have done, was building low-cost housing, had taken land away from the mullahs and was distributing it to the peasants so they could be landowners, things of that kind. But we turned it over to a maniacal fanatic who has slaughtered thousands and thousands of people, calling it executions.
Situation, because it's even deeper than what you're mentioning. So what's deeper than making a fucking 3-minute short? It's Israel, dude. I'm telling you, it's Israel. I wanted to hear you go, oh no, not that. That's not what he meant when he was like, it's deeper than wanting oil. It's deeper than wanting terrorists dead. It's deeper than wanting regime change.
That's the point in keeping it unintentionally vague so you don't sound anti-Semitic.
Yeah, well, that's my
Like
point. It's a Hassan Pikerism. Somebody tell me, somebody tell me that's not Hassan Piker-esque behavior. That's not like on the edge of calling somebody. Just call me the N-word. Just say Zionism. I tried to be concise and to the point, but naturally some information was going to be left out. My overarching point remains. His overarching point was what was we should not be in this war. Nice. That's like saying don't rape people, but you know, but even worse because I'm saving people from being raped. Don't save people from being raped. It's very Incredibles in that way, where you can sue the guy who you saved from suicide.
Mr. Sansweet didn't ask to be saved. Mr. Sansweet didn't want to be saved. And the injury received from Mr. Incredible's actions, so-called, causes him daily pain.
Hey, I saved your life!
You didn't save my life, you ruined my death. That's what you did.
Listen,
My
you
client has
little
no further
piece of-
comment at this time.
5 days later, another suit was filed by the victims of the L train accident.
This is why I literally told you to shut up about politics. You're not willing to go in depth when talking about it, and your fans don't follow you to hear about it. It's that simple. It's like y'all content creators want to be put yourself in drama. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't hold it back anymore, fellas. Play my video game, so ha 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 ha. It's literally the definition of a crash out.
And it's a crash out about something that's positive.
Yeah, it's a crash out about things that are overall positive. That's the thing you have to really put into perspective.
It's more.
It's not my job to then educate the 1,000 randoms on why I arrived at that standpoint.
Nope, you're wrong. Look it up.
I don't have to look it up. It's common knowledge.
Nope.
He was on the cover of...
It is kind of like it's not your job, but it's like when somebody asks you to elaborate, you expect somebody like, why do you hate me? If somebody asks you, why do you hate me? And then you say, because
Trump just got a COVID booster.
Then you look retarded. If you're gonna say something like that, you have to be able to at least elaborate a little bit. But I don't think he could. I legitimately don't think he could. Let's see. I'm gonna be real. I'm going with the anti-Semitic, not anti-Semitic because it's not directly hatred of Jews. Syriacs, with all due respect, I feel like you're doing this because of the backlash from the whole Charlie Kirk incident. While I know these are your words, please don't let people pressure you to speak on things you don't want your channel involved in. Much respect, fuck Trump. Oh, this guy even gave him the positive message. Like, just straight up said, I'm with you, but fucking calm down. I'm gonna start hitting the literally no one could agree with this stance of want world peace. Okay, so how do you achieve world peace? And this is why I hate the AI argument, climate change and whatnot. He's just like, how do you stop climate change? The answer? If we have 300 million plus people in America, and we have 1 billion other people not giving two shits about carbon emissions, then you're gonna have to slap your meat on the table and subjugate their ass.
Our nation is enjoying an unprecedented time of peace and wealth. Our people are happy, and we're so fortunate in so many ways.
Where are you going with this?
I've been thinking. We should share this prosperity with the rest of the world. In our hands is the most successful empire in history. It's time we expanded it.
This is as close as we're getting to world peace. It's a world enemy. It's like Hitler.
It's more like Hitler in the context of killing Jews than anything, because that's literally in the charter. If you...
No, Syriax would be one of those guys that'd be like, we shouldn't get in the Germany war.
The general idea is literally, how do you achieve world peace without slapping your cock on the table?
The point is, you have to slap your cock on the table.
Like, and then you have people going Epstein files. Meanwhile, there's literally slavery in fucking the other Muslim countries. The only reason we don't fuck with them is because they're chill. Like, they don't really fuck with us. When we say, okay, we're putting our hands off of it. We're not going to force you to stop using slaves. Forcing that requires force. People could be happier, but we'd have to do a lot more fighting. The plus side of taking out the Iranian regime is literally stopping terrorism across the world. I think it stops right there.
Because if we get rid of the Ayatollah, like 20% of our peace issues are fine.
I'm Persian. I'm Iranian. I was born in Iran, in the Middle East. So I do have to call a lot of people out right now. All these free Palestine people. Where are you at right now? Hamas is massacring innocent civilians in Gaza right now, as we are speaking. Look at this. What are you going to do about this? Are you going to take it to the streets? Are you going to march against Hamas this time? Are you going to say free Palestine, free Gaza from Hamas? Do you care about Palestinians? Or no Jews, no news?
There's a certain level of fuckery that you can talk about when it comes to the billionaires and whatnot. So, like, if you hit a specific tax bracket, then people are going to start saying that you throw people in rivers with cement-toed shoes and say that you cover up things with your money and whatnot.
When all of these world leaders in areas that Trump kind of helps out start to love Trump and tell him that they appreciate that he toppled their regimes, 3 years later, everything's cool and more peaceful than it was before. What is Syria gonna say after that? Are they gonna say worth it? Because that's what normal people say. It's worth it.
I know it's the same thing with like saying what happens after Trump. After Trump, who we fighting? Who we complaining about? Because you give it 2 or 3 times past Trump, and if Trump is still on your brain, that's going to be a problem. Now, it could still fall back to ash. Everybody wants to overthrow Trump. Everything's going to be better as long as that guy's not in the White House. That's how they feel with their government.
We just bombed Iran, dropped hellfire on their head. Hold my trigger, now they're dead. MAGA, the perfect strike had just begun. White generals clean, Khamenei gone, we won. MAGA. Strike first thing tomorrow. Carry on, 'cause it actually really matters.
And let me tell you, boys, this was an incredible, beautiful strike. The greatest military operation in the history of the world.